Hi everybody, this is Pat Hogarty from Sacramento City College. What I want to do is talk to you about two things today that I felt that I learned more about in this class, and then I'm going to be implementing in the classes that I teach online and actually be utilizing the tools also in face-to-face classes that I teach. The one thing is what I'm going to be talking about is something called social presence. And then the second thing I'm going to be talking about is something that we talked about in class called personal learning. Now, as far as social presence go, I started my first venture, if you will, teaching online is when I decided I was going to teach what we call video classes or telecast or television classes. It comes by a lot of different names. Essentially, it means that you go into a studio on the main campus. Your video is recorded, and then it is actually at that time put out live on the broadcast channel. For example, in Sacramento area here, it comes out on Comcast, Sure West, and UVerse. And so I was teaching both computer science classes and real estate classes utilizing that tool. And so that really piqued my interest in video. And what I did after teaching a number of years online, and in order to also reach students that did not have if you will, a satellite system dish, or I'm sorry, not satellite, but cable system, we decided to stream the videos through Palomar College in Southern California. Anyway, so I've been utilizing video and screencasting in my classes, but one of the things, and you're looking at it right now, I'm utilizing something called the Logitech C910 HD camera, video camera. And one of the things that I am integrating into my classes now is to have where, for example, if I'm teaching a class and as I'm going along through several weeks, and all of a sudden I discover that there's something that maybe I need to tell the whole class about. It might be a problem, might be a computer glitch, it could be just building that relationship with the students. What I've been experimenting with and utilizing is this video webcam. Now, what's really great about this is that I'm not having to take the video and then turn around and what we do call compressing it or encoding it and then uploading it to our servers and having to make all kinds of video players and everything else, which is very time consuming. What this allows me to do is to essentially take and record the video directly. I'm sitting in my kitchen at the kitchen counter with the lights on up ahead, no special lighting, which I've done in other videos that I've used. And I'm just using the webcam, sitting at the laptop, and when I get all done, I'm going to go ahead and hit the button and upload it to YouTube. And YouTube, what's great about YouTube is now it'll play on all different kinds of media devices, iPad, iPhone, everything, so it's deliverable that way. And all I really have to do once it's up there is get a link, insert it into an email or into a website or whatever, and I can utilize it right away. I've also utilized this process for screencasting, by the way. And I've recorded screencasts. I think it's in 1280 by 720. I've uploaded it to YouTube and it's worked really great. It's really crystal clear. So that's one thing that I think I'm integrating. The second thing that I want to utilize is something called personal learning. I want to talk a little bit about personal learning. And there was a lot of literature that we read in the class. There was a report that came out in 2011 about things that we should be watching out for the future. And it talked about different kinds of devices, personal devices. In fact, something that I just recently heard during a podcast I was listening to is the fact that, years ago we talked about things like a personal computer, a PC was something that was built by Dell Computer or HP, and it ran the Windows operating system. And then we had another system called Apple, and we called it a PC, meaning personal computer, the ones that were running Windows. And what we're really starting to do now is describe that PC computer really means what is it that you're carrying with you that you can utilize. We're even talking about that with cameras now. For example, the new iPhone camera takes wonderful video and still photographs. So we'll really say, the camera, your personal camera is the camera you're carrying with you, you can use. So that's kind of changing. But the one device that sort of really intrigues me a lot is the use of the iPad or that type of a device, because I really feel that we have to find some way to get the cost of textbooks down. We have to find ways of getting additional information besides just being static text in a book and pictures. We need to have video and audio and presentations and everything else within the book, even simulations and games or whatever. And we can do that with the iPad. And so what I really look at is the fact that, and really intrigues me, is that a student, for example, could be taking a history class. They could be taking a look at JFK or John Kennedy's inaugural address and reading about it and what he said, and they can hit a button and they can actually watch the video and see how what he actually said, how he sounded, what did the crowd look like, how did people dress, all very important stuff. Same thing, like we can look at space shuttle shots. We can talk about space, and we can show the video of the space shuttle taking off and going into outer space. And so I think that that's a really important thing. Plus, we can put all the books on one device, so we don't have to have this huge backpack of books that we carry all over the place. And again, we not only have to look at what's happening today, but what's happening down the line. Students can now highlight things that they're reading. Students that are having a sight impairment can make the text larger right away. So there's a lot of intriguing things that I find that can be really utilized for the iPad. The other thing I want to say about, as far as personal learning goes, I've done over the years a number of screencasts that I utilize in my classes just to predominantly do things like teach software, how to utilize a website or whatever. And one of the things that I've noticed that students do, because we put things out there and then we see how students utilize them, and they utilize them, they may not watch every video that we put out. They more or less utilize it like a library. So for example, they may be taking a class of mine, a real estate principles class, and they may go in and read chapter 1 and say, hey, I really got that, I really understand it. And then they get to chapter 2 and it has to do with things like how you hold title to a property, and what is a grant deed and a deed of trust and a sheriff's deed and all that. And they go, I have no idea what this is about. So in that particular case, they can go in there and listen or watch the video lecture that I have on that topic. And they can watch it as many times as they want, over and over again. And so it's a way for them to learn. One of the things that I wanted to share with you is I subscribe to a web or a company called Lynda, Lynda.com. And they put out all sorts of screencasts, videos. The service is like $24.95 a month. And I've utilized this service to learn how to do Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, how to do a lot of different things, even go in and learn certain things that I needed to know that I didn't quite understand using Microsoft Word that were a little bit more complex, like how do you make an index for a book or a table of contents so that it automatically updates. So in other words, I'm not reading everything in there. I'm not watching all the videos. I'm looking at it and going in there and saying, I want to go to the library and look at that one video, see what happens or what they say, and then follow along in those instructions. So I think that as we produce content, we also need to be aware of the fact that students may or may not watch all the videos, but I will have found that a lot of them will watch or utilize them in topic areas where they maybe don't really understand the subject. So I wanted to share that with you, and I want to thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the internet. Bye-bye.